Baroness Bennett of Manor Castle.
My Lords, I declare my interest as Vice President of the Local Government Association and express my enjoyment of our 2 maiden speeches thus far and look forward to the 3rd. I'm glad the Noble Lord the Minister acknowledged that we can't say when the crisis will be over. It makes a refreshing change from the World War I style boosterism of over by Christmas, for we know what a disastrous impact that approach had a century ago, and I fear had done great damage today. It's useful if we think back to your Lordship's House, Parliament, London, the country, the mood 6 months ago as we passed this bill. The cover message from The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, "Don't panic," almost seemed projected on the walls of the chamber in large, friendly letters. The noble lady Baroness Chakrabarti referred to the heavy heart many of us felt at the swingeing provisions of the Act. 6 months later, the serious human rights damage and the unnecessary attacks on peaceful protest are clear, as reflected by my noble friend Baroness Jones of Molescombe. We've learnt a great deal about the virus that we didn't know in March, but the mood of determination to pull together, to applaud our NHS, to shop for vulnerable neighbours, the promise from the Chancellor to do whatever it takes has dissolved, and the government must take significant responsibility for that. Whatever it takes was a promise that fell apart, sadly, quickly. Local government, huge numbers of self-employed people, those caught in the New Starter furlough, quickly found it wasn't for them. And despite the obvious risks and the still high levels of the virus around the nations, a stay-home message pivoted straight to get out, mingle and spend money. It is, my word, Lords, worth reflecting that it is just 1 month since Eat Out to Help Out ended. But let's look forward to the next 6 months and 3 elements of this Act, or elements that might be in this Act. First, elections. Not, as my noble friend was referring to, a general election, although I'm far from convinced that stability has suddenly broken out after 3 elections in 5 years. We've all heard the rumours. But I'm talking about the other scheduled, already delayed elections that are much closer to people's homes, to decisions that affect people's lives on a day-to-day basis. The sections of the Act allowing for the delay in elections is still in force. The government needs to publish a plan for elections to go ahead safely into 2021. The elections provisions of this Act should be repealed on that basis. Referring to those elections, the noble Lord the Minister said, "We hope for normal service to be resumed next May." Well, I say don't hope, plan. Secondly, the economy. What's the government's long-term plan? Where is the understanding that we will never return to business as usual, and that nor should we want to, given the human misery, poverty and environmental destruction that underpinned it? Where is the thinking of how this is a chance to support small and independent businesses up and down the land and flourish in newly peopled communities? Once commuter centres, emptied for most of the time, now humming, chances for outdoor cafes, catering vans, print and home office services, computer support, something like a 15-minute community that is the social and community environmental ideal. Levelling up by spreading economic activity to every community in the land. Thirdly, education. I was reading this morning an email from a desperate homeschooled A-level student left high and dry. Where's the plan to stop SATs, find alternative methods of assessment for GCSEs, A-level, BTECs and other subjects next year? We should be seeing significant elements of this bill repealed now, replaced by a plan, a way forward. I hesitate to interfere with the words of the late great Douglas Adams, but they do need amending for this current time. We could project on the walls of number 10 in large friendly letters, "Stop panicking and plan."